So we now know, obviously, that Kyrie Irving is out for the season with the torn ACL that happened on Monday. The injury situation in Dallas just went from worst to the worstest, and just no end in sight for this. So short term, Chandler, what should they do? The play-in, where are they sitting right now? They are sitting 10? 32 and 30.
This is what I was saying yesterday about the Phoenix Suns, how every game matters. The only hope they have is the Dallas Mavericks now shutting down Anthony Davis. Obviously, Kyrie Irving's out for this season. You see Jaden Hardy's out. Their bigs are still out. So it's kind of this no man's land now where they need to make one final push and bring Anthony Davis back and try and get some of their pieces. PJ Washington back on the floor, but it seems like that's a long shot, and they're in big-time trouble. I think even with those other guys back and Kyrie Irving out, they don't really have a shot to compete for a championship this year. It could be a similar situation as Philly's doing on the East Coast. We're basically shutting them down, not necessarily just dumpster fire tanking, but trying to get the best pick this year and then coming back with a healthy, loaded team next year. And it puts Kyrie Irving's free agency a little bit into jeopardy here this summer. I'm sure we'll get to that, but I don't think they have enough with Kyrie Irving out for the season. I do not think they have enough to compete. So it might be smart just to continue to rest Anthony Davis and have them fully healthy coming back next year.
What do you think? And we'll get to Anthony Davis, too, because Shams had a report on that as well yesterday. What do you think?
Yeah, I disagree, and I say that because with all of these teams, when they go through adversity or the star players go down, we automatically go to the tank card or the pack it in card. This team is sitting in 10th place. Now, they are going through a lot, and they have a ton of injuries, but they basically got identical records with the Clippers and the Kings. Like, you're in the mix of these things. Now, do you have enough to compete for a championship? Hell, who knows? But at least give yourself an opportunity. If you fall flat on your face, then you fall flat on your face. But continue to push forward. You're still in a position. And with that, if your star players come back, and obviously Dallas is they're gonna look at their roster, they're gonna see who's good for us and who's not. Let's see what your team is made of. Let's see what some of these guys are made of without your star players. Let's see what a Max Christie is made of. Let's see who Spencer Dinwiddie really is. What can we really get out of Najee Marshall? Dante Exum is back in a lineup from injury and from all of the things that he's went through. Like, let's see what some of these guys are made of and see what kind of run they can put together. Your first round pick is already protected as it is. So continue to push forward. I don't see why you would pack it in when you're right there in the mix of some of these other teams that have way more talent than you, but they're going through just as much adversity. Give yourselves an opportunity and see what happens.
That's my fair. That is fair. I mean, it's funny. We're like, oh, shut it down. It's over. Don't even bother trying.
Well, the only reason I'm saying shut it down, too, is because I don't think they have enough to win games. I think if they continue to miss P.J. Washington and Hardy and Lively and Gafford and Irving and Davis, who the hell are they going to play to win games? They're running out of bodies. So, again, I'm not saying this is a panic. I think they're going to play their guys. I just don't think they have enough guys to win games and kind of stay afloat. I think this is a blessing in disguise for the Phoenix Suns, even the Portland Trailblazers, who are playing really well right now. There's now light at the end of the tunnel for them, seeing how much adversity the Mavs and health issues they're going through. So, again, do I think they're going to try and lose? No, I just think the product that they're going to put out there is going to lose.
They are at Milwaukee tonight, by the way.
Yeah, but Chandler, it's just about messaging, right? Like, if you're Jason Kidd, you can either go in there and light a fire up under these guys, or you can start playing some lineups that we can look at and be like, what's going on here? You know, it's about messaging. And like I said, if they fall flat on their face and they don't win any games, so be it. Like, you're playing with house money as it is. Like, you already have an out dealing with everything that you're dealing with. But still, when all of that dies down, you're still in the 10th place. Now you got the Clippers right there in 9th place in front of you. You got the Kings right there at 8. You're in the mix. Some of these teams are going through things as well. So if they can put a 2-3 game run together right here with these guys, depending on scheduling, I don't know who they got on their schedule, they might can find themselves in a 7 or 8 seed by the end of the week if they do this thing right. So it's hard for me to just say pack it in because you don't have some of these guys. And like you said, who are you going to play? Well, let's figure it out. Let's see who's worth keeping, and let's see who really wants to compete and give themselves an opportunity to stay on this roster.
And you know what's interesting? They're going to tell us, because is Anthony Davis coming back or not?
So that's the thing.
That's the tell-all. Yeah. And again, you know what's interesting? We keep saying they're in the 10 seed. 2 years ago, without this play-in tournament, I think that would have made this decision easier to shut it down. Now this whole play-in tournament kind of gives them hope to, okay, we get in this tournament, anything can happen. It buys us another week to get these guys healthy. So this is another advantage to the play-in, to where now there's 10 teams with hope, in that 6 to 10 range, not just an 8-man, playoff team.
Also, in fairness, those other guys, they deserve a chance. That it's their jobs too. Just because Kyrie and AD,
Absolutely.
and that's where we are now. Because the report came out yesterday via Shams that Anthony Davis and his representatives are going to have to sit down and have a pretty difficult conversation on whether or not the one game, the 3 quarters that we saw him in a Mavs uniform, will be it for this season. Now, even if he does sit out, Lou, I still think everything that you just said pertains, right? Like, everybody that's left to play still wants to do their jobs and try. Like, there's no reason to just give up, as we so flippantly say in this business. What do you think, though, at the idea that he might just be done for the season?
If this is something serious, they should take a note out of the Joel Embiid notebook and say, let's pack it in and let's figure this thing out. Let's get healthy and let's get it back to as close to 100% as we can get. However, if this is something that can heal and he feels like he can go out there and add something to the team, I think he should put his uniform on and go out there and compete. As much press as Nico is getting, as much bad press as he's getting, AD has a history of injury. And for the fan base in Dallas to only see him for 3 quarters, they still want to know what he's made of. They still want him to kind of, I don't want to say prove himself, because we know exactly who Anthony Davis is and what he brings to the table, but he has to become part of this fraternity in Dallas as well, where this fan base can trust him moving forward as well. So if he's healthy, I say you go out there and compete and give yourself a chance to win games and put Dallas in the best position possible. But if this is something that you're going to go out there limping around, trying to be tough and trying to tough through it, and you're not giving yourself the best opportunity to go out there and do that, I say you pack it in and we look forward to next year.
And I'll say that Anthony Davis, he has to want to play, right? Everything that's going on with the media, how good the Lakers are playing, he wants to get on the floor, So I don't know if the severity of the injury, but the fact that these reports are coming out with Shams, that it's even a discussion.
After the Kyrie injury.
It means it's not good. And it means, okay, now Kyrie's out. Now our chances are even smaller. So if there's a chance that this can linger in the offseason and then become something where I have to miss time next season, then it's no question. But again, I'm with, like Lou said, if the dude can play, play. Like, what's the worst that happens? Like, you need to prove yourself too. You need to give this fan base some sort of hope, some sort of, joy looking forward to next year. Everything they've been through, the least they could do is that.
You already raised the ticket prices. You got to show them that something good is coming next year.
All the stuff they've done, by the way, that's probably the crazy.
By the way, I'm not a PR guru by any stretch of the
8%
imagination.
raise and people are leaving the game. I'm like,
I do a better job
That's
than
just
that.
bad optics.
It's
Super tone deaf, yeah.
So not reading the room. Kyrie is in his 14th season. You mentioned what he was up for contract-wise. He's going to be 33 at the end of this month. What does all of this mean timing for him?
I think he has 2 options. I think he can either opt in for his $45 million contract, be 33 years old, and kind of prove himself yet again, which is crazy, the fact that Kyrie Irving might have to prove himself. Or I think Dallas could give him a friendlier deal for them, sign him to like a 3-year, have him opt out, sign him to like a 3-year, $80, $90 million deal, give him the luxury of taking his time with his rehab, get back healthy, and then at least you still have him under contract with no Luka to have him get the keys back, even if he's 33, 34, coming off a torn ACL. So
Can I ask you a question about torn ACL, though?
Yeah.
Is it not minimum of a year?
I think nowadays
No.
it's quicker. It's
What is it,
much
10
quicker.
months?
It's
No,
way
less,
quicker
less.
with the technology now. I tore mine back in 2013-14. It took me 10 months to get back on the floor. And nowadays, I'm starting to see guys that's getting back on the floor between 7 and 8. So,
Okay.
you used to feel like this was like a career killer. It was one of those things. But now they patching these things up, and guys are getting right back out there.
So theoretically, the beginning of
Yeah, they're doing these in this sleep.
Okay.
So again, so I think
I'm
that
not.
Lou, what do you do? Do you opt in for the $45 million deal and prove yourself?
Yeah, you are.
Right? Like,
Or
why
do you take like a 3-year, $90 million deal and just have those extra years there to kind of take your time with this rehab?
That's one way to play it, but when you're 33 years old, you got to protect yourself. And I don't know a lot of teams that's going to give Kyrie a 3-year extension right now, knowing that he's going into those older years, and you don't know what position you don't know what type of shape he's going to be in once he comes back from the ACL. I think he's going to be the same Kyrie Irving, but that type of injury, it takes an adjustment. It took me about 2 years to feel like myself again. Ooh. He doesn't have 2 years to try to feel like himself. So if I'm him, I opt in for the 44. I prove myself. I go out there. I'm still Kyrie Irving, and then I go get another bag out there.
Yeah, why are you taking?
Can I give you a hot take? If I'm his agent right now, I am talking to the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets, and I am opting out, and I am signing a 3 or 4 year deal with one of those teams that has a bright future.
You're that positive.
That need a point guard, and that would give him the luxury of the longer contract. 33 years old, proving yourself on yeah, sure, you can go that route, but I think he's up for one more contract. If he can get that this summer, whether it's with Dallas or not, so be it. So
can I play devil's advocate?
And the
but
two
we're
teams,
breezing past a torn ACL. Like again, you're still 2 years out of feeling like you have Kyrie Irving. Like we're only talking about the Kyrie Irving side of it. That's smart for his agent to do. That's good business. But if you're the Orlando Magic and you got I said Terrell Suggs, you got Suggs that's out. you have that point guard that's out. You kind of sitting here like, I don't want to hedge my bets on another point guard that's going to be recovering from an ACL injury. I'm gonna want somebody that's young and that's healthy. And so that's one side of the ball. But the other flip of the coin is what teams are going to entertain this conversation.
Well, then, Lou, I'm shocked that you would take the option at the 45, because it sounds more like you're thinking I would have some doubts to take 3 years.
Yeah, because the 1 year gives you an opportunity to show I'm still that as of late. That's on Kyrie's side of it. I'm still worthy of a 3 year contract. Now, I agree with Chandler. If you can go out and get 3 years, by all means, lock in that security. I'm talking about the other side of that deal. A team is going to have to want to sign you to a 3 year deal. I don't see that happening right now with him, freshly tearing his ACL going into this summer.
Worst timing.
March 5th, 2025, 7:41 a.m. I'm calling it. He will be on the Magic of the Rockets next year.
Okay. Do we have all of these written down somewhere?
Yeah, it's recording.
Do we watch them? We asked this of Ryan Russillo yesterday, and I don't know if you guys spent any time thinking about it. I know you did. You're both pros. Is this the worst season in NBA history for anybody? Like just as far as, and by the way, a lot of luck.
Philly fans have something to say about it.
But look at just, if you see it in writing.
Not to me.
Rough.
I don't know, man. Those Brooklyn Nets teams and
well, that's okay.
I was about to say, Chandler, the optics are bad for the Dallas Mavericks. Like, it looks bad and it sounds bad and it feels bad, but I've known completely healthy teams that are way worse, that's been in way worse positions than this team with all of these injuries.
But were they in the finals months ago? Because that is part of this comparison.
Now, that is a major drop off. That's another thing to factor in. But like, I've seen some. I'd rather be on the Dallas Mavericks than some of these old teams that I've seen win 9 and 10 games in a season. I would absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking. The 76ers lost. They lost 73 games 1 year.
Like,
that had to be painful.
Yeah. I'd rather still be in the 10th spot with all of these guys injured and still feel like my season is worth something, opposed to getting my ass kicked from October to April.
But they weren't at the top of the mountain 10 minutes ago.
That is this is the fall from grace like we've never seen before. Yeah. But again, there's light at the end of the tunnel for the Sixers. There's light at the end of the tunnel for the Mavs. I would much rather be one of those teams than the Charlotte Hornets are just getting dubbed every game that have no future. The Wizards that are completely in disarray and have nothing going on for them. At least they have talent, they have injuries, they have excuses of why it's not going well, and they have hope for next season. Some of these other franchises are just stuck. These two franchises aren't stuck. It's a shitstorm right now for both of them, but it's going to get better. It's a poop storm. Chandler, work on that. Storm. All right, we're going to take a quick break. There are some players out there we just don't give enough love to, so we're going to do that next. Run it back, run it up, run it back.